Hello, everyone, and welcome back to We Know Love Island here on RHAP. We're talking about Love Island USA Season 7, episodes 33 and 34 today. I'm, of course, Kirsten MacInnis, joined as always by the wonderful Brian Scally. Scally, how are you?
Hello. I am confused. I am shocked. I am reeling from quite the development. I might have some buyer's remorse. I am trying to figure out all of the feelings as Ace and Shelley are gone.
I have to tell you, I can't stop laughing. This is the most unserious, but also weirdly serious season of Love Island.
This is so wild. I think it's what I said is I'm always leaving room for myself to be wrong, but I feel like this has to be the first season of Love Island for the finale to be made up exclusively of couples that have developed since Casa Amor.
It has to be.
Less than half of the run. They've been together a max of like 15 days. Like,
and
Huda and Jeremiah were... most of them have not been together that long. Huda and Jeremiah were like, I think they were still good 15 days in. I don't think they had hit all the rough spots.
I don't know about that, but I also think this is going to be the first finale with there's only 3 OGs in the finale.
Yeah, which is, my God, that is so wild. It is very, very low. You usually see an absolutely like dominated by the OGs in the finale. And we have just had an absolute massacre over the course of the season. And especially right here at the end, losing 3 back to back to back is wild.
Can I say why I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing?
Oh, coming in with hot. Okay.
I think OGs should have some fear in them that they could go home.
I agree in general.
So I think this will maybe keep some comfortability from happening in future seasons, perhaps. It's bizarre. It's wild. Like, we'll talk through all of it for all the couples, obviously. But we had family visits this last episode, on episode 34. And Ace and Shelley were the only couple, really, where their loved ones had anything to actually dig into and talk about, because everyone else is so like have all these people officially been coupled up less than a week? Other than Huda and Chris, maybe, I guess.
Like, it's so wild. I feel like usually when they do the in-person family visits, which like that is a nice return. We have the budget. We can do an in-person family visit. But usually like they go and talk to their families separately and then they all come together. So it's like, oh, we just discussed how we really like you. And we discussed how we really like you. And we're so excited for your journey outside of the villa. But instead they were like, nice to meet you. Bye. And didn't have any further discussion. And I don't know if that was decided on a whim or because maybe these couples are not as strong on average as maybe some other seasons. But I am just absolutely still in shock. I never ever thought we were losing Ace and Shelley right before the finale.
It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. I do think the loved one visits, like, they did get to talk separately and come together. The show really yada-yada'd over it. Like, there were scenes of like Shelley talking to her family, but we couldn't hear what they were saying, and then it just panned to all the other Islanders watching them, and I was like, this is not the information I want right now. What are we doing here?
Yeah, maybe they like did come together more, but it didn't deliver like they wanted. I don't know. I just am reeling. I gotta say, I was a Love Island third-party voter, and I think I regret it. The thing is that like
undecided to third party to regret.
Here's the thing. I didn't think that Ace and Shelley needed my votes to make it to the finale, so I probably would not have gone in that direction anyway, because I like to play a little bit of strategy with my voting sometimes, and and I don't feel comfortable doing that right now. I need to just vote where I think. I'm not voting for second place. Screw that.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about your strategic vote for Pepe and Iris?
Here's the thing. I still like Pepe. I still like Iris. But I thought I was voting them in over other couples instead of this. And I honestly spent the last 2 days being like, well, they're still going home. Like, that's super obvious. So I still like them. I'm confused. And honestly, it's kind of the shit show that this season deserves with the four couples that we finale. So I have already seen, I got a DM from someone who's like, I'm down to meme. Let's vote Pepe and Iris for the win. And I was like, no, I can't do it. Like, that's not happening. We are not voting for Pepe and Iris. But I am floored. I did see it also pointed out there was kind of an argument all season of the strongest couple who doesn't need to be here goes home. And maybe that bit Ace in the butt right as he was going, as he bit many others in the butt as well.
I mean,
Not a-
I think like the fan base in general has not loved Ace for a long time. I don't think there's really anyone who has a problem with Shelly besides, I guess, BuzzFeed Tasty, who I
totally
think
disagree.
should not exist anymore. I mean, you're right. No, there's people who think Shelly's a mean girl. So I guess
And
there's
I
people who have
think
problems with both of them. And I think that plus the people that think that Ace and Shelly are scamming would take them out of contention for favorite. I didn't think it would put them at very last, though.
where do you think, like, why did this happen? Why did Ace and Shelley fall off this hard? Because obviously there is a lot of people who thought that Ace was gaming this season and that he was the mastermind. I mean, as he's leaving, Nick even is like, you were a true leader and a role model. And I was like, this sounds a little ironic considering what most of the audience is saying. But how would you diagnose this? Why did they go home this episode?
So I think that there's a few main components to why it came together that they would be at the end. I think that first of all, I think if people are voting for who do you not want to see in the finale, I don't know that I think Ace and Shelley would have gotten the majority of votes to be eliminated in that type of vote. I think they would have been high, but I think that they did have some support, right? And
I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
So that to me, I'm curious about how that would have gone, but obviously we'll never know. I think that the perception of gaming the season was a huge part of it. I think the perception of Shelly as a mean girl by the Huda stans definitely played into it. And I think Ace being mean to Amaya Papaya probably also really played into long-term dislike of him on the season. I also kind of think, Ace seemed to be really running the villa like the Navy. And I can see kind of the ironic idea of like, well, not anymore because you're not making the finale. Get out of here. And I mean, they were last in like pretty much everything in the fan votes before. So I guess it's not actually even that surprising. What do you think?
This went sour at the heart rate challenge. I think that the audience has not forgiven Shelley for what they perceive to be mean girl behavior when she had issues with Huda, quote, taking it too far. And I think that is partially a consequence of the show maybe not showing everything that happened on that night. I think that we've seen multiple times where this season, I'm going to go back to pretty early in the season when Huda cried and Alandria was very conscious of like making sure that Huda was all good, but also making sure that she did not get a mean girl edit on the show, because I think that probably very well aware that fans are unfortunately going to be biased and less forgiving of Black women on the show who are getting a mean girl edit. And so I think that unfortunately we saw the Instagram numbers drop for Shelley and Alandria on that specific night. And I think it kind of did irreparable damage where the fan base just didn't come back. I think that Ace and Shelley might have done worse in a vote to eliminate, unfortunately. I have been pretty pro Ace and Shelley making the finale. I had even said that I would consider have given them my vote if I didn't think that it would probably send the wrong message to production in terms of what I want to see moving forward with like the scripted dates of it all. But I am disappointed for sure. Like there was no world that I had considered that they had not made it.
Yeah, I really didn't think that I thought that enough people watching would be voting for who they perceive to be the strongest couple versus who they just like, which is probably a mistake on my part as well. And, being liked is part of the Love Island game. And while there were, many factors against them, they also, in some circumstances, made choices that did not do them favors when they could have acted differently. I think that they will date outside the villa. It seems like everyone who left the villa is like, oh, they're the most real couple. They're the most serious. Like, they'll obviously win. So the people that are in there with them are obviously seeing more than what we see on the show. So it seems like they're a good connection. It seems like they'll probably date. And I wish them every happiness. And at the same time, this elimination is exactly what this particular season of Love Island deserved because it's so unserious. I laughed so hard when this happened.
I was shocked. I was just still processing, I would say, at that point. I think we still have more to say about Ace and Shelley and their time on this episode, but I don't think it was possible really to open this batch up without talking about their elimination, as I feel like they kind of have been the couple of the season. There have been individuals who have been big contributors, and, other couples have had big spikes throughout the season, but I think that they have been the most consistent storyline couple throughout. So to lose them right here, granted it's only one episode, still very I don't know how to process it.
It's just weird. Should we just talk about all of Ace and Shelley since we're here?
Sure. We can talk about all of Ace and Shelley. I feel like they otherwise had a pretty good stretch of 2 episodes here.
They really did. So the episodes started right after Taylor and Clark were eliminated. And so it was a lot of everyone being really sad that Taylor was gone. Ace and Shelley talked about they're literally talking like Taylor is dead instead of just being eliminated from a dating show.
Ace literally refers to the ghost of Taylor pulling up a beanbag and playing the character as if he's has to be there for this last day.
But Nick says, I can feel him here. It's like I can still feel him here. It's okay. He'll be fine. You'll see him in a few days. But Shelley's like, my happiness for Taylor finding a connection with Clark kind of takes over the sadness of him being gone. Like I'm happy that they're together. And
I think that's valid. I think that at this point, as many of them have put it, we're all going to go home. It's just going to be on different days. And Ace says very similarly as to going home here. I think when you're right at the end, if you're leaving with someone that you like as a couple, it's, disappointing. I would like to make the finale, but if I'm not going to win, it really makes no difference if I stand up there in 4th place on the finale versus 6th place going home 2 days early.
Yeah, exactly. And I think after getting such poor results in the last time they found out America's perception of them, I think Ace is just relieved that they didn't go home. Ironic looking back.
It's talked about. I like this where they were like, look, I didn't think I needed that sign off from America that we are a good couple, and I still don't. I don't need it, but it was nice to have. It was nice to get that little voted through. We were a little worried, and so I'm glad that they got it at least the one time, because I'm sure it feels nice as much as you might not need that validation to decide to continue dating. It's still nice. It feels good.
I mean, you don't want to be thinking you're on national television and your country hates you. That's not a feeling anyone wants to have.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
No, I wonder why you would think that. That's crazy.
Interesting.
Peculiar. So there is also a hideaway again already. And everyone chose Shelley and Ace, which kind of does imply that perhaps they had not gone before or in a while. I got someone, I can't remember who messaged me, so I'm so deeply apologetic. Someone suggested that everyone was so sure on it being Amaya and Brian last time because Amaya snores and they wanted a night without it. And I thought that is genius.
That's very funny. I like the 4D chess there, but I was happy to see Shelly and Ace get a hideaway. I
Yeah.
thought him running outside to put their initials in a heart in the sand was cute. Again, probably contributes a little bit to the like, I don't know. At what point is it like it feels of doing stuff for TV versus it feels genuine? I think this would feel genuine on its own, but since we've had a couple of the like little things, I was like,
Yeah.
reminiscent, but still good.
The heart in the sand, I think, was the only one that was just cute to me. Like, it didn't
Okay.
bug me. I especially like Shelly goes to put on her bathing suit and he like runs out. Like, I thought that was comical. I enjoyed
Yeah, it was
watching it. What I did not enjoy was Ace's poem.
fun. I kind of liked it.
No, Scally. Like, I'm fine. Like, the concept of having a poem is fine. Like, I'm not like anti poetry. I'm anti this specific poem.
So I have questions about the poem. I thought it was cute, actually. I like that he took the time and wrote this out. I started transcribing it because I was like, oh, it's going to be short and cute. And he's going it was a full monologue, which I appreciated. It was nice. But I do have questions. I don't think that Ace sitting down instead of standing was the only confusing part here. He's self-corrected. He does say, since the day I met you in New York City, I always thought, how did my Cinderella leave without a trace? Weren't they liking each other's pictures on Instagram?
They're mutuals. They're literally mutuals. So I feel like there was no trace. I don't.
That for me is because there's been this big like are Ace and Shelley scamming, and I have pretty long been on the like, guys, I really don't think they are. I don't think they plan to get in here. I don't think that they like even saw each other in the villa and were like, wait a minute, we can just align and get this and play the whole audience. I don't think that's what it is, but I don't think this line contributed. It did feel like maybe we were attempting to hide something that we don't think the audience knows. Not like
know.
Not in a devious type of way, but just in like my eyebrow raised.
Maybe, I don't know. I think he just had the Cinderella without a trace line so that it could rhyme with Case and Ace.
That's fair. I didn't realize it was a poem at first, to be fair. You did say I wrote something, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize you were going for like, an A-B rhyme scheme.
Yeah, it was okay. So I don't think we need to read all of this, but the lines end in trace, case, ace, and then restraint, complaint, paint.
Honestly, is this the best poem we've seen on Love Island?
The bar is in hell.
Yes, but I don't know. But who is Ace? Ace is a person who has been hurt by love. I was like, okay, let's get deep.
But has he been in a relationship?
He's never introduced someone to his parents. He's 22 years old, so I'm a little questioning when. But Ace, he loves the many.
His heart's been on restraint, after all. Here's the most shocking thing actually about all the episodes. Not the elimination, not anything. So he full name's Shelly Evelyn. I don't know how to say her last name, Bassand?
I think so.
That's not her full name. Her name's Michelle.
Huh?
That's what we learned during the family visit. Her whole family's calling her Michelle. And then her brother's like, I can't believe you have the whole world calling you Shelly. You'll always be Michelle to me. Girl,
that's
what?
Funny. Look, maybe she didn't even tell Ace.
I literally was so floored because I've been actually really confused about the spelling of Shelly all season long because I've never seen it with the CH. Makes a lot more sense when you think about how the word Michelle is spelled.
I'm processing. Okay. Like a new bombshell has entered the villa. Michelle Evelyn.
I literally am like, who is she? Like, took me out. But they are exclusive now. They had a good time in the hideaway.
Though Ace did not fold.
Well, but hands are going everywhere.
Look, no folding, no confirmed
I like
coitus.
Ace is like, I didn't fold, and Nick goes, but hands, and Ace goes, hands go everywhere. And I'm like, what are we doing here? That's such a weird thing.
It is interesting. I mean, we talked about how, recent most of these couples are, but Ace and Shelley, one of the only couples to not fold in the villa.
Which kind of makes me feel like it's less real. Is that wrong?
I think. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't necessarily sign off.
Like in the Hideaway, like you've been basically in a couple, like maybe you weren't necessarily coupled up, but you've had this thing going from literally day one. It's been over a month. You really like each other. You've been coupled up for a couple of weeks at like solidly. You made it through Casa Amor. You have the Hideaway, no cameras, and you don't go on a journey.
No cameras is a stretch. No other people.
They much less. You could really hide, I feel like, in the Hideaway, as long as you're not whispering to bite on them.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard about bites. I have seen legs in the air under covers. They're like, it is, your family's still coming for family visit very soon.
I guess. I
So
don't know.
and not anything wrong, but if you choose not to, that might be why.
No, and again, like, it's not that I'm like, oh, everyone needs to be fucking in the Love Island villa. I just think... Well, I mean, we've both been very clear we like it when it's a hornier show.
Yes.
I don't know. I would think that they would at least stop for hamburgers and hot dogs. That's all.
That's fair.
That's all.
Not the full journey.
You don't have to go the whole way.
Not a round trip.
Get a bite to eat. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
But they had a great time. That's fine. And then their family visit. So it's Shelley's mom and dad, Ace's brother and sister. And I did really feel like this was just very cute. Like everyone was just kind of like, yeah, we like you. We're glad you're together. We're glad you made it. And then Ace also got a video message from his mom, and Shelley got letters from her siblings.
I like Ace's sister, like shooting her shot. I have one chance to yell that like Ace has a text in this villa, and I'm going to take it because that's real. I think you got to shoot your shot.
That was her audition for Love Island season 8.
Put her on. But I thought this was interesting as they did the in-person, and yet we got some video messages. Shelley gets letters from her siblings. This was a common theme throughout.
Yeah, well, I think that since they shifted to the Zoom family visits because of COVID, people were getting to see so many more of their family members than what you could get in an in-person where they bring 2 at most. And so I think that this was a really good middle ground between
nice compromise.
Only being on Zoom and only having 2 in person. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, they help cook dinner, and then they have dinner, and then they go home.
That's the end of Shelley and Ace. I still find it weird. I'm gonna find it weird that they're not gonna be there at the finale. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see them at the reunion. It'll be okay.
It's the other weird part about it is so everyone made dinner together and then ate together at a long table in the backyard of the villa. And everyone got like a tray with like the silver lid to pull off and a card that said if they were in it or not. And so then it's like, everyone's going down the line. It's like, well, obviously one of the last 2 is going to be going home. So we always knew it was going to be either Iris and Pepe or Ace and Shelley. And so it just was such weird theater to go through all of that.
It was a little bizarre. I was also just like waiting for the music to change. I was like, well, I don't think it's going to continue with this happy ass music on the couple that's going home. But I don't know. I thought it was creative, and I think sending people home kind of unannounced, not necessarily at a fire pit, but they've done it on the UK where like they're literally just hanging out, and all of a sudden someone gets a text and it's like, by the way, Kirsten, go home now. Like it is jarring. So it's not done often, but I think it can lead to good TV.
I think if they wanted to do it at the dinner, You know, like Christmas crackers, and everyone like opens up the cracker all at
Ah.
once and is like getting their prizes. I think they should have had like crackers and the couples open them and everyone's reading them at the same time. And you see everyone's like, yes, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. And then you just see Ace and Shelley like, it's us. I think that would have been maybe
Mm,
a slightly more interesting way to do it at the table, but
I think
maybe not.
that is possibly a good one. I do
It might be a
agree.
psychopathic suggestion from me.
No, I think it's good. I think it's good.
It's like,
Which
oh, you're not carrying forward, but you got a paper crown and a bottle opener.
now, my thought is as we leave Ace and Shelley behind, very sadly, which couple do you think is the least likely to be winning in the finale?
Okay, Iris and Pepe, let's go.
All right, let's talk about Iris and Pepe. What do you think about Iris and Pepe in this little stretch?
Well, they weren't really in the episode very much.
Look, they were around. They were
Yes,
around.
they did have a conversation. Iris thinks Pepe's very smart. He says he's a jack of all trades, master of none, and talks about he can play basketball, he can play guitar, drums, piano, he can ski, he can snowboard. He's like, damn, if I'd really focused on basketball, could I have made it to the NBA? Like, I don't know about that, but maybe.
Okay. Look, it's hard being really good at everything, but not the best at anything. It's a tough burden. So
Yeah, we get it, Scally. You're good at everything. God.
No, I think that they had some good conversations where in this stretch where I think that Pepe and Iris before were kind of confined to like, oh, you're smart and you're cute. Haha, kiss. Like before this stretch. And it was really riding on the backs of just, we liked them enough before this as individuals. I do think I see this connection more from this conversation. They
Mm-hmm.
end up kissing outside of a challenge again, which they've done, but it felt more coupley.
Yeah.
And I think I can see this being more of a thing outside of the villa where I was previously not sure.
Yeah, I agree. They seem to have like a good connection, but I do worry that perhaps Pepe could just have a good connection with anyone, and that
Well, except Grayson.
well, but even then he faked it for a while. Like he really
Yeah.
tried and put in an effort, and like never forget, Grayson was blindsided by the fact that he didn't like her.
Here's my thing. Why be honest then? If he was going to fake it with someone and he's just faking it with Iris, why not just do that with Grayson unless he found her really annoying?
I don't think he's faking it. I think he might just be one of
Sure.
those people that gets along really well with everyone and could have a relationship with pretty much anyone as long as they
Sure.
aren't like giving nothing. Sorry,
I can see
Grayson.
that. I did think it was interesting how Iris's mom is like, well, I'm picky, but I'm happy you're happy. And I was like, I don't feel like that's a ringing endorsement of Pepe.
It was not a ringing endorsement, but so it was, yeah, Iris's mom and sister and Pepe's mom and dad. And Pepe's family was very high on Iris. They really liked her.
Pepe's mom was like, I knew since the literal beginning you walked in together, and I was like, that's the one. So good for her. She has a really good radar because I don't think anyone else saw it coming.
No, none of us did. No, we watched the show more carefully than a large swath of the population, and I didn't see it. But
Yeah.
it's also like oftentimes bombshells who come in together like never really get the chance to explore together because they need to find like an established person to be with to stay safe. And so this season was just wacky enough that it could work.
I've seen so many people being online like, ugh, two bombshells who came in at the same time. It's disgusting. And I was like, they're not actually related. Like, you guys are really taking this very seriously.
In the challenge with the ball pit when Pepe and Iris kissed that time, right, to kick all this off, Pepe goes, oh, I'll take my bombshell sister for a kiss. And people were like, that's so gross. Why did he say that? I'm like, he doesn't think of her as a sister.
No, I think that's very clear given some of the nighttime shots.
Look, Iris wanted the hideaway. She said, oh, I wanted to go.
Yeah, I think they would have made good use of it. But I think also, like, maybe they didn't need it. I think they were okay.
No, but also, yeah, that's the thing too. Ace and Shelley, if you don't want to fold, that's fine. Give the hideaway to someone who's going to use it.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Like, that is
There's a
just
whole cabinet.
disrespectful.
There's a whole cabinet of reasons that maybe Pepe and Iris should have gone over Ace and Shel.
You could go on quite a journey with the supplies in that room that are not available in the shared bedroom.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, literally, Pepe's mom kept talking about how beautiful Iris is, how wonderful she is, how much she likes the connection. We find out that Iris's dad lives close to Pepe's grandpa, so they'll be able to get to know each other in the outside world easily, which did make me buy into the relationship a little bit more. Iris's mom said one of the craziest things I think I've ever heard, where she says that Love Island has like made Iris more of a woman.
Look, sure. I don't really know why, but it's a real, this is not that kind of journey, but I think you're going to see them grow and struggle through a couple different things. I would say Iris, not necessarily the growth arc in the villa that was on my radar, but sure.
It just seems like she is a nice lady.
I think most parents would think that their kid has grown up quite a bit if they watch them on Love Island or any show, because by nature, when you are with your kid, you're probably going to revert slightly back into a parent-child relationship, whereas you're seeing them not around you for the first time in your life, and it's like, oh, they're okay without me. This is interesting.
That's a very good point.
So I think pretty much anyone.
But it's still a weird sentence.
Yes.
Sure. And then they were at the end of the table with Ace and Shelley. They opened their tray at the same time, but they're safe. So
and look, to which even they were like, oh, well, we didn't anticipate this one. So you know what? The Pepe and Iris stands are out there. I'm frankly shocked. I don't see them online. I don't know where they're hiding. I've definitely seen some people who like them, but I did not think they were coming out in this number.
No, so allegedly the Pepe/Iris Navy is on Reddit.
Sure.
That's what I was told. I haven't seen it myself, but allegedly Reddit really likes them.
Well, I guess we will see the Reddit numbers by their placement in the finale, but I am pretty shocked.
I also, this is not Iris and Pepe's fault by any means, but there's like a wide swath of middle America who is demographically going to be inclined to vote for them as well.
It's also possible.
It's not their fault.
Has not played out as much on past seasons of Love Island USA, but when the fandom grows, you never know how it's going to change.
Exactly.
I am curious. I really don't know who's the next least likely. I really could see any of these other three couples taking it.
Well, speaking of people that were shocked they didn't go home, let's talk about Huda and Chris.
I think that's fair. And by shocked, do you mean upset last episode?
Chris hates her down. I'm sorry. Chris hates this woman.
I don't know. I think he is maybe looking for a eject button. I think Huda and Chris is not a terrible option to win. For Huda, I think she has had one of the biggest individual storylines of the season. In two decent, sized couples storylines for the season, but I am struggling to see them have a really strong storyline to finish this out, especially when the best conversation they have is like, oh, the family visit was nice. Yeah.
And they, right before the last vote, they had gotten into this like really bad communication cycle. And so the Huda stands are strong. One of them stole Alandria's social media today.
Okay. We love the Huda stands. We love them. We have no beef.
Someone broke into Alandria's TikTok and posted a Huda fan cam and then was like, make sure to use 2-factor authentication and stronger passwords. So everyone, if you're concerned about cybersecurity, change your passwords, use two-factor authentication. There's
Great.
stuff can happen out there, and they
Which
were
is so
literally like,
irresponsible. No one that listens to this is doing that, but don't do that.
no, literally no one who listens to this is doing that. And to the person who did it, they are like trying to get a hold of Alandria's family to like give advice on how to secure it. So like they're, I guess, kind of a white hat hacker a little bit, but I don't know. Listen,
A good guy hacker. Okay.
I didn't say that, but I also have
I only did
two-factor
this
on everything.
I only hacked your account to teach you a lesson. Like, okay.
Scally, the number of,
look. Go ahead.
I was gonna, the number of people who try to get into my Instagram, and I'm a normal person. I get emails like almost every day. Someone got a code for your Instagram.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah. My Instagram has nothing interesting, so good luck. But
no,
don't try.
I mean, as if mine's interesting.
You use it more than I do, at least. I don't use that thing. I would say for Huda and Chris, the reason why we say he's looking for the eject button is mostly the like meme that's been going around on social media of Chris just looking completely dejected, just staring off into space as they're announcing the results, looking like he's not really fully checked in. And maybe that's because he wants to go home. Maybe it's just because they had a tough conversation. That conversation gets brought up here quite a bit, as much as they don't want to. Huda tries to explain it again of like, I'm just letting you know that in private is more intimate and public is less intimate, and things with Jeremiah went too fast. And he's like, okay, but he's like, yeah, but I don't really want to do this right now. And to which she's like, so you want to end it? You don't want to talk to me anymore?
Well, it's a thing where she's like, well, do you have any thoughts on what I've said? And he's like, no, I don't. And she's like, so like, you don't have any thoughts on me? Like, you don't want to be with me? And he's like, no, if I wanted, like, why are you so quick to end it? Like, we can work on it. We don't have to call it quits. Like, I just don't understand why you'd want to have sex, but not kiss me in front of everyone. And it's like, again, extremely valid feeling to have of like, oh my God, she only claims me in private. Like, what's going on here? But just how he brings it up makes it seem so strange. And then I also feel does not actually give Huda an adequate opportunity to explain herself, because it doesn't seem like he wants an explanation. So it's just like, it's tricky to navigate when someone's clearly unhappy and has even expressed the issue to you, but then is not providing any sort of roadmap for how to work on it and move forward, and is just like, no, we can work on it, move forward. Okay, but how?
As it continues, I think it's would be irresponsible to skip probably my favorite moment of the last two episodes, when Amaya and Brian hatch a little scheme to get Huda and Chris to talk to each other by both innocently asking their best friend in the villa, or one of their besties, can we go talk on the dock? And this is a genius plan that they make up, which is almost ruined by the fact that Huda wants to wash her hands.
Sometimes you just got to parent trap two people if you want to work out what's going on between them. So first, Brian pulls Chris, gets into the dock, and goes, oh, I'll be right back. Just wait for me here. Then he goes up to Soul Ties and does the like arm motion for Amaya to see that it's time to get Huda. And Amaya's like, let's go for a chat. Let's go to the dock. I have to go to the bathroom, so meet me on the dock. And Huda's like, oh, I want to wash my hands. So like, I'll go with you. And then Amaya has to mastermind that she needs to go number 2 and won't be able to do it if Huda's there to get her to go down.
She said she's a shy pooper. Get out. And I thought it was really funny why they're both like, why are you here? And so they do catch Amaya and Brian peeking over the balcony, watching them. And it's cute. I think that there was like a fun moment here. But once Huda tries to bring this back up, it's very clear. Chris is like, I already told you I moved past it. I don't want to discuss it. And so you bringing it up right now is not going to do anything good. And I think for me, yeah, okay, to me, Chris was like, I don't understand it. I'm never going to understand it. So there's no real point in talking about this. When really the better answer is like, that's not how I feel, but I understand it's how you feel. And so I'm going to just accept that. Like, it's the same thing, but totally different energy.
Yeah, just being like, I disagree. I still am confused. However, I respect you and care about you and I want this to be good. So let's keep moving at your pace. And when you're ready, you'll be ready. Like
Yep.
it's you could just do it in a more positive way. I did like the minute she walks out to the dog, she's like, oh, it's so cold. I need your jacket. Like she went from 0 to shaking immediately. And I don't know if it was real or not, TBH, but
Well, and to be fair to Chris also here, Huda does the same thing that he asked her not to, basically, or indicated that he really doesn't like, where he says, we've already moved on from this. I was trying not to argue. And she does the same. Like, so is this a deal breaker? AKA, are you breaking up with me? Are we done? And he's like, again, like, please, if I wanted to end it, I would have ended it. Please stop rushing to this conclusion that I've made very clear is not where I'm at.
but also it seems like he wants to end it.
I think he wants to end it once they're out of the villa. But
Yeah.
so
And you know what? I understand if someone would rather be on TV than not be on TV as well. And so when they're waiting for the family visit to happen, Chris is like, again, super checked out, very quiet, clearly stressed out. And we get a confessional from him. He's like, it's just way too fast to introduce someone to my family. Like, I am not ready to introduce to my family.
he openly says in the show, if I could choose not to introduce Huda to my family, I would choose to. And that to me is not a Love Island winning couple.
No, it is. It's just not. And the thing is, I also get it. Again, they've only officially been a couple for like 2 weeks, and the first week of that was like him
Yep.
also exploring with Shelly. I have no way of actually gauging how serious this is because the only scenes we're really getting of them are these awkward, bad communication conversations.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know if the show is realizing that they're very close to winning and is walking it back, because otherwise they've been pretty high on Huda, like as far as we can estimate through the edit.
Mhm.
And I feel like they have otherwise been pretty low in these last just few episodes. So I'm a little surprised to see the change up, but I will say I did enjoy both of their family visits. Huda getting a video from her daughter to find
So
out
cute.
that the conversation with Nick about being a mamacita has blown up all over the internet.
I loved it was Huda's sister was like, yeah, I kept just wondering, why is she saying it so weird? Just say you're a mom. Just say you have a daughter. And I was like, so true. But also, I could never live without the mamacita.
It's so good.
It's so good. And they are like, no, the I'm a mommy mamacita has popped off. So that's some real info from the outside world that they're getting.
She has the best two memes of the season for me that I can think of, at least, in just also like, wait, my favorite date, real cute. Like that's
Yes.
the other best meme of the season. So when it comes to creating content, Huda does good work.
Cute. My favorite date. And he knew that. I also liked her sister being like, how are your lashes still on? Which I guess means that they are like actually installed false lashes from home and she's not just doing like the ones
Yeah.
the like middle, like the Lashify type system where you can wear them for a few days and then have to redo it. Like I really thought she was redoing her own lashes on the days off, but I guess her falsies have just stayed on for 35 days, which is genuinely insane. You're supposed to get fills every 2 weeks, Scally.
Oh. Okay.
It's weird.
Sure. Maybe they have someone on the off days touching up. I don't know. But I
Deb
was
from season 4 said they don't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I would say I did like Chris's family being very complimentary of Huda. They said they have absolutely no complaints, which was great because he was super stressed out saying that his mom and sister will tell him like exactly what it is. And so he was nervous. And Chris's sister loves Huda's moves. They have no criticisms. And I thought that it was cute.
It was very cute. Chris is shocked that they don't hate Huda, like genuinely. But again, I feel like it's really hard to be a loved one and come on this show and be like, you guys are not compatible and this is really bad. But also the last thing they saw was him folding sexually, and so they haven't seen the like worst conflicts that we have seen.
Exactly. Yeah, they have not seen the little bit of the fallout that they've had over the last couple days, it seems. But I thought it was nice. They say, like, as women, we can connect to the situations that Huda has gone through in here. And so I'm glad that as, you know, she's gotten the reassurance. She's had a little bit of a growth arc. I do think it's funny that Huda keeps referring to it as her crash out singular, as if she only had one moment in the villa, because it was a series, but that's fine.
Well, it was a series, but I think like the crash out TM is like a 3-day long ordeal.
Say, that lasted a week and a half, but sure. So that was good, and I like that they had a little like powwow after where they got to talk about, you know, Huda's video from her daughter and Chris's reassurances from his family. So it does seem like it's on a better path, at least going into the finale.
Yes, absolutely. It seems like they're on like pretty good. Although again, when they were opening the tray and it said they were making it to the finale, I did see Chris's soul leave his body. So we'll see.
No.
Like, here's the thing. Last episode, they're going to get to go on a date. They are going to give speeches to each other. And I'm very curious to hear what those speeches will be.
Well, at the final dinner, they have a prompt that Huda / Nick propose of giving their peaks and pits. And Chris's peaks were seeing his family and playing basketball with the boys.
Also, Huda first was like, what was everyone's best and worst moment? And then Nick immediately goes, peaks and pits. Yep. I'm like, okay, well, that's rude. And you could see it on Huda's face when Chris had nothing to say about her, that she was not happy.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally when like a woman has an idea in a business setting and a man just says it again, gets credit. Like,
no, literally, this happened to me in a social setting like a week ago. I made a joke and nobody heard me, and then my brother-in-law said the exact same thing and everybody laughed, and I was like, am I invisible?
That's tough.
Am I invisible?
It's tough work, but I definitely did notice Huda's face. He didn't mention her at all in the way that basically everyone else did.
Yeah.
So it was tough. I said they're going into the finale on a better note, but basketball with the boys was so much better than anything with Huda is not a great look.
Basketball with the boys was the most fun he's ever had, he said. What do you mean? Like, at least, you know what? At that point, at least bring up that ice cold, refreshing cherry Pepsi that you.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, not very good, and especially like we know how important it is to Huda to feel like seen and appreciated, and it's, I think, super valid in this circumstance. If I was at the table and my partner gave that answer,
words of affirmation. She literally talked about it this episode and was talking about how like he doesn't necessarily reassure her enough. I think back to the yoga, the mommy and me, like, you know, parents and me baby yoga that they did, and it was like everyone like went around and said something and you just ignored me. And I feel like he kind of ignored her here again.
It's not a good sign. I do not think that this couple has longevity outside of the villa. And if there had been even one singular bombshell after Casa Amor, I don't think it would have had longevity in the villa either.
Here's my thing. As I said, all of these couples got together since Casa Amor. We could get to come back next week and it's like, I know we're entering the finale, but actually Chris and Iris decided they're going to try something, and I wouldn't be that shocked. Like, it would make sense to me to hear that, you know, two people from these couples tried something shortly after the finale.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by that at all. Like, even like TJ gets eliminated, right? And Iris stays on. They're what's his freaking name? I keep want to call him Aaron, but it's not his name. Who was eliminated? Austin. Thank God, damn it. So Austin posts on Instagram a picture of all of them who got eliminated, and TJ's arm is so around Andreina. It's like they're very close. And then that post got deleted, I think, within 30 minutes. So even the relationships that seemed to be strong in the villa
Interesting.
ended quickly.
Interesting, because I've seen TikTok lives where he was disappointed to be finding about his bestie Pepe and Iris. So I don't know exactly what the the
I
thing
saw
is
a
there.
TikTok today of TJ and Charlie watching together with like, turns out we have a lot
Sure.
in common.
Yeah, that sounds right. But regardless, I think it's really going to come down to these top two couples. I think we could talk about them in any
Yes.
order. Do you have a preference?
Dealer's choice. Who do you want to go to?
Let's talk about Nick and Alandria.
Alandria. So they have a conversation at the start about Taylor leaving. They are happy to feel supported by America.
I think this was a necessary conversation. Nick just lost a best friend, as he's talking about. Alandria lost someone who a large part of her journey surrounded. But at the same time, she says, like, you know, I am sad in a way, but he found his person. He's not a bad person. And so I'm glad to still be here. But, you know, that is what it is.
Yeah. And like, she's happy for him to have a connection. So, you know.
But otherwise, I will say, as we're going, we had a couple of conversations between Nick and Ace, Alandria and Shelley, talking about how Nick feels like a teenager again. Alandria feels like they're getting closer and they have good kisses. Now, I know you and I had talked about feeling like this was kind of default last episode. Do you still feel that it is fully default?
I mean, I think that it originated out of necessity and was a little bit default, but they do have a spark, right? Like, they've had a spark. Day one, Nick put his hand up to kiss her with the blindfold challenge, which she still does not know about, by the way. And so, like, the attraction is definitely there. And I feel like, especially with Taylor gone, there's nothing to stand in their way of actually properly exploring it. And it does feel like they are actually exploring now.
In a show that incentivizes people to lie to us about how strong their connection is, I am typically not always going to believe them when they tell me that they are, but I am going to believe them when they tell me that it's not strong. And so I was a little bit still questioning the connection in the last batch where they had previously told us no sparks there, and I believed them. But I do think that this I think this episode turned me around a little bit. And maybe it is getting down to fewer people in the villa or what it was, but I think it was cute. They talked about how they have not kissed outside of a challenge since Soul Ties and since saying that there was nothing, but maybe they rushed it there. Maybe they jumped to conclusion because their minds were elsewhere. And so now that they are having these discussions and kissing again, I see it a little bit more.
Listen, I believe it.
Really? Okay.
I believe
there we go.
it. I'm really mad that I know about what Nick posted on TikTok that time, because if I didn't know that, I'd be so excited. I would consider voting for them to win. It would be like, it's so bittersweet. It's so bittersweet.
I think it's interesting. We obviously got the storyline of how Nick is not a planner. He assumed he would not be in here long, so he packed like 6 shirts. He's wearing some like teenage girl sweatshirt in the early portion of this week, which I thought was funny. It's a cute pink sweatshirt, no problem. But he was apparently like living out of Taylor's suitcase and ran out of clothing. So he has some like fun conversations here with Alandria. They end up kissing in the photo booth. There are some good moments. I enjoyed them, especially when how they talked about each other to their friends, like in Ace and Shelley. I thought all encouraging signs.
Yeah, it felt very real to me. Obviously open to it being wrong. Then we got the family visit. So Nick's mom and sister came in, and Alandria's mom came in, and Nick's mom tells them that no, it's Nick Alandria. you said it wrong. Both sides are like, we were all getting so irritated that you two did not see the connection from day one. Like, we were just, why are they exploring with other people? They should be together. And Alandria later's like, not us being like in denial.
They were the last to know. Like, America saw it, maybe me, but no, I'm teasing. I think that otherwise their family saw it. Every single person was so on board with this. Even when Nick's mom walks in, she's like, and the best for last. I've been rooting for you, for Alandria, not for Nick. She's like, I'll find him later. And she is very, very pro Alandria. Talks about how since day one, she could have seen Alandria coming home with Nick, sitting down at their dinner table and hanging out with their family. And whether that be in a romantic context or not, back on day one, it definitely looks like she is fully shipping by now.
They had a cake with a picture of them kissing on it.
Yep.
I was waiting for sneaky production to put that TikTok up on the screen where the Zoom calls were supposed to happen, just so that Nick and Alandria could see how weird Nick's family got. But they just really, they both are really happy. Alandria and her mom are besties and twins, and everyone's very proud of their children. Nick's mom is like, I've seen you between the sheets. I didn't love that. And Nick's like, well, it wasn't in public. It was on national television, Nicholas.
Nicholas in public like that? You know, everyone, he's like, Ma, stop it.
It wasn't public. It was just
there was a lot of people in the room. There was a lot of people in that room, but sure.
It's also broadcast to
no
the
shame.
world.
Do what you want.
And please continue. We want that on Love Island, please. And yeah, so they're very happy. Everyone's happy. The only unhappy part of these two episodes is when Alandria cries a little bit when Shelly leaves. She said, I never ruined my makeup for myself, but I love her. That's my girl.
Yeah, definitely. Alandria ruining her makeup for Shelly when she did not cry for herself. Nick saying,
or any man.
That is true. Nick saying, comparing people getting to see their family in the family visits to the like military homecoming videos on TikTok was very funny as well. So you know what? Teared up a little.
I teared up a little. I'm weak.
Now, I think I'm going to save the prognosticating on Nick and Alandria's winning chances until after we talk about our other couple remaining, Amaya and Brian. What'd you think of their journey here?
Well, again, I loved their scheming because that started as well with Amaya going to Brian and being like, Huda's my best friend. If we were having troubles like this, I would want them to intervene and mediate and help it. So I want us to intervene and mediate and help it. And Brian's like, okay, sure, whatever you want.
It was cute. I think that was super fun. I think they had another jokey conversation about how she feels like she's a lizard because her hands and feet are always cold all of the time. But I think otherwise, the real main portion of their time was the family visit. Yes. I would be curious if you were to take the minutes and seconds of the family visits, whose was the longest, because it felt like Amaya and Brian had quite the extended time because they also got the prank of like they're just on video chat. Yeah,
and I think that was on purpose by production, and I am fine with it. I thought that it was so sweet. They have the call, they're like just starting to talk, and then the screen goes black. And Amaya and Brian are just sitting there like, okay, well, I guess we'll wait. And then their families sneak in. They walk past all the other islanders. They're going, shh, don't say anything. And then they surprise them. And it's so cute.
It was really, really cute. Brian cries a lot, and I love a soft boy. So I think Nick also cried quite a bit. Ace cried at times. Like lots of people were crying. Well, so
Nick cried before anything happened today.
Yes.
He was just crying at breakfast.
Look, you know what? Sometimes we cry. Soft boys are fine.
No, and I'm sorry. I'm not being critical of it at all. I think it's actually so nice to see examples of men, like straight men, crying on TV, because it's okay to feel your feelings, however that may be. Yeah. And crying is so much healthier than so many other ways of processing emotion.
Valid. Yeah. I thought it was really cute when their family does sneak into the villa and all of the other islanders are silently like going crazy, fist bumping, just in absolute silence as they walk behind. I think they gave it to the right couple in that
Mhm.
Amaya and Brian are very popular right now, but also in that Amaya and Brian were going to have very large reactions to the surprise that they were going to be
Yes.
there. And I thought it was cute. I know a lot of people have, a lot is maybe an exaggeration, but some people have been questioning if Brian is really into Amaya or not. But I thought that
Me
his
on Tuesday.
conversations, yeah, you on Tuesday, lots of people on social media, but I thought his conversation with his family made me feel more reassured as well.
Yes, it did. And I really liked that Brian's dad brought up Brian standing up for Amaya as something that they really liked, because that was just such a pivotal moment for Brian on the show, and for, I think, fan
Yeah.
enjoyment of him as well, being the only one willing to stand up for her that we saw, at least. And Amaya's mom's like, yes, I also love that. I love that you brought up, growing up in a Latina household and how that's, different than what maybe people are expecting in the villa. Everyone talks about, oh yeah, and the hideaway, they had to leave the room, and Amaya's like, I'm so sorry, mom. Oh, you
Well,
saw that.
it was funny. I like that Brian also had a friend Brian that came, so that was not confusing at all. But the friend Brian was like, "You guys are so compatible. I can see it absolutely." So for his friends to be saying it, for his parents, his mom couldn't make it. She's had a couple of health issues that prevented her from coming. But I thought this was super cute. They even talk about their plans after. So I don't know. I thought they had a good little stretch here.
Interestingly enough, Brian and his friend Brian are the only two people I know of named Brian who go just by Brian.
By their first name, that is, a thing.
Like, I mean, Brian Cohen also does, but I feel like he's a full namer. Like, you have to call him Brian Cohen.
That is fair. That is fair.
So, interesting
So
stuff.
I will say Brian is one of the guys who remembers to say that his best part of the villa was Amaya. So
Yep.
points there.
Shocker there, right?
Now that we have talked about everyone,
Yes.
let's start with, who did you vote for?
I told y'all last time. I told y'all the time before. I'm voting for Amaya until the wheels fall off. And I did. Through milk
Okay.
got served.
I was still definitely reeling from quite the shock when I submitted my vote, but I really was thinking about it. And I've thought about it for quite some time in terms of who I wanted to be voting for. And I think this season has been such chaos and, like, you know, peaks and pits a little bit along the way, both from the cast, from production, from etc. And so I wanted to vote for someone that I like, someone that I thought would give the best takeaway for production in terms of what I'm looking for in a future Love Island season. And so while I have come around on Nick and Alandria, seeing that they are a stronger couple and would be a better duo to win Love Island than I previously may have thought, I also voted for Amaya and Brian. I think that they are just like the personality pick. They seem completely organic. They seem like there was just like no game playing, no nothing. And so I am fully behind, submitted my vote. Amaya Papaya and Brian Papaya have gotten my votes.
But that being said, if Amaya and Brian and Nick Alandria are not the top two couples, then I am confused, because what are we doing? Chris hates Huda down. Let's be clear. You can tell in this episode he does not like her. It's not like she's gonna take the money if she had the opportunity if they won. So to me, there's no point in them winning. And Iris and Pepe, they're cute. I do believe in them a little more after this episode, but like, if we got to the end of a season and you were like, yeah, the winners of Love Island season 7 are Pepe and Iris, like, what in the CBS Love Island are we doing here?
Look, I will giggle. We will just be giggling the whole final podcast trying to figure out what happened. I will be very surprised, but what else does this season deserve? I do think there is still a chance that Huda fans could pull it through for her. I, again, don't really believe in them as a couple, unfortunately, so that's why I will not be going there. But I think Nick and Alandria might have the best shot. I'm not sure. I'm seeing a lot of Nick and Alandria stand-em online.
Yes, and I know obviously Ace and Shelley didn't have the votes to win, but I do think that anyone who was voting Ace and Shelley will probably vote for Alandria because that's Shelley's best friend. So they could get the bump that way.
And also Ace's best friend and Nick. So I do think that it's very possible. I think if you had to bet, who are you putting money on? It's tough. I really don't know. And that's where
I'm betting on Nick Alandria.
Okay. It's tough. I've had some boots on the ground reporters going to Love Island viewing parties telling me who's the most cheers. And while I do think there was a lot of support for Nick and Alandria and a lot of support for Huda and Chris at some of these viewing parties, I do think what I've been told is that Amaya has had the loudest booms in the room. So I'm torn. I think, you know what? We'll bet on different. I'll bet on Amaya. You bet on Nick Alandria.
Okay.
And either way, we'll be right.
As long as one of us is right, I'm happy. Because those are the only two results that I could be satisfied with.
We shall see.
But yes, so that is everything that happened in episodes 33 and 34 of Love Island USA. I did just want to queue up as well. So allegedly, some mess magnets for y'all. Someone who works on production of Love Island USA has spoken to The Sun, and they have said that starting next season, they are going to get some people working on looking way more into the social media presence and articles, pictures, and public things that potential contestants have done before trying to get on the show. They're going to hire more people to dig into people's pasts and the things they've done in public and really brush out their social media and old posts. And they will be really digging in to make sure records are clean of racist, xenophobic, or sexist words or behavior, because they cannot have any more situations where they have to deal with racist behavior like they did this season. So we'll see if that works out.
Do you think that they will be disqualifying people where they find problematic posts on their social media?
That is what was said to The Sun.
I think that they will be doing a better job of looking and making people delete those posts, because I don't have faith in production of companies. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think they would disqualify people who have said slurs, and will be asking people to delete posts of other problematic things that don't meet the line of a slur.
Yeah, we should hope.
That would be my guess. But I mean, at least they're looking.
I am glad that they are looking. I think that they really need to be on top of this. I mean, I understand that there are a lot of Love Island viewers, but I think the fact that they find so much more than the casting team is a problem. So hopefully this is something we don't have to run into again, because it also throws off their production schedule.
Like so much of this season was thrown off and weird from day one because Yulisa had to be removed. So that's all of that to say. Maybe we just deserve this completely unserious finale. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully they do better for season 8 next year.
Let's hope.
But in the meantime, Scally, we'll be back after the finale on Sunday night. But if people want to hear more from you, where can they find you?
Ooh, people can find me right here on this feed talking about Love Island Beyond the Villa, featuring the cast of season 6. That will be coming out right after the episode is the plan, so stay tuned. Got a couple more weeks of Love Island in store for you on the feed, as well as reading the 5-star reviews if you have not already. We are trying to hit 250 before the end of the season. We are very close. And then otherwise, I am on the Free Agents podcast with Matt Ligori talking about the challenge. We just did a Big Brother draft over there with Lavina, and I am on, the social medias, so go check those out.
Yes, and you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, and you can also listen to Mess Magnets every week, where we talk about pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics, all that fun stuff. And we even gave some of our reality TV opinions over on patreon.com/messmagnets. So check that out. Again, we'll be back after the finale of Love Island season 7. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.